right, guys, let's connect it up today, September 24th, 2023, coming at you for our live stream to talk about the Walking Dead universe, a couple other shows and stuff that we're watching. Anything you're watching, recommendations are always good. I truly appreciate all the support and just everyone taking the time to be here for this live stream for the next hour, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock East Coast time, depending on where you're at. Is it earlier, later? Either way, we appreciate it. Thank you guys either way. Spoiler warning for the Walking Dead universe, Daryl Dixon, Season 1, Episode 1, 2, and 3. We'll talk about they had this episode 103. That's last probably 45 minutes of the stream or so. What's up, Max? He says, hi, Bryce, Solar. New episode came out already. Yeah, it comes out at 3 a.m. on AMC Plus. What's up, Tim? So, yeah, it's some people don't know, but if you have AMC Plus, which is their streaming service, the AMC service, you get to watch the episodes early on Sunday morning at 3 a.m. Previously, they did a thing where it was on Thursdays in the morning, I guess, and now it's Sunday mornings for this show, Fear the Walking Dead, and starts in October, just about a month. And, then I'm guessing they're going to continue that Sunday mornings on for the ones who live with the Rick and Michonne show. But that's later next year. So we'll have to see how it all goes down. Thank you guys for taking the time. Again, spoiler warning for the Daryl Dixon show and the Walking Dead universe. But overall, guys, let's talk about some general stuff first in the first 15 minutes. And then we'll talk about the latest episode, which I thought was really good. And you know, I made a video talking about the latest Daryl show, 102, not 103, earlier this week, and I was talking about it as like, you know, the Daryl show to me is they finally got it right. And some people are like, well, Dead City was good. Nuh-uh, Dead City was good. Okay, great. I said in the video, I clearly said that Dead City was good. People want to fight. People want to be annoying. People want to be whatever. It's how it goes down on YouTube. It's hilarious. But ultimately, Dead City is good, but it ain't great. Like, if it was just a Negan show, like, this is the Daryl show, basically, right? So it's Daryl and the newcomers in the story with Laurent and Paris and Marseille and this and that and blah, 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 right? But Dead City was the Negan and Maggie show, or the Maggie and Negan show. And Maggie, I love her and everything, but she hurt the show. Negan was far better. If it was just the Negan show, I think that would have been much better. I still think the Daryl show is better overall, and that's what I was saying in it. And it just feels like every episode so far is good. It's entertaining. The new characters are great. They bring more than just filler to the show. Like, Isabelle is probably the best spin-off character that's not in the Walking Dead universe besides this show. You know, like, I think she's far better than any character from World Beyond, far better than any character from Fear the Walking Dead. And I just think that she's just entertaining and interested to see how it connects and everything there too. So again, we'll talk about that in the next 45 minutes. Well, in 12 minutes, we'll start that. So overall, we're watching this stuff on Netflix called Wrestlers, and it's a real life OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is like the third tier wrestling. You have the WWE and then AEW and then OVW. And so it's kind of cool to see what it is. And if anybody watches the show Heels on Stars, that's a wrestling show, but that's like a drama. It's definitely something but OVW is real, and it reminds me of like a real life Heels. And it's kind of cool to see the struggles that everything's going down for this independent wrestling. And, you know, if they had a partnership with WWE or AEW, it would be cool. But, you know, it's just it's interesting. You know, it feels like a documentary style thing about wrestling, and it's cool too. So Jeannie says, some other replies Brad gets makes me understand certain other YouTubers who constantly say, in my opinion, to avoid pissing people off. Exactly. So people are hilarious. That's a good point, Jeannie. And so, like, everything is in your opinion anyway. Like, it's my opinion. And if it isn't, you're coming across as stating the facts and the truth and this and that and that. But everything I say is opinion. everything most people say is opinion. Some people take it as that's the way it is because it's their opinion. But we all have opinions of shows in this, unless someone's character name is that and some people are getting it wrong, or facts of the show. That's not really opinion, that's facts. But overall, people are just going to complain and have a difference of opinions and say they're wrong and fight and argue and all that stuff. And that's never going to change because people have the anonymity of being on YouTube. The anonymous nature on YouTube or social media in general lets people be trolls and complain and whine and everything else under the sun. But it also connects people in a way that's good. So the good is good and the bad is bad, but the bad a lot of times outweighs the good because people can bully and fight and pick on and cause all problems in real life too. But either way, it is what it is, and I definitely do not miss that. That's all I can say too. So Michael asks, could Isabelle be a partner for Daryl in the future? I see the chemistry they have. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for these characters. I mean, every time Daryl comes around a woman, people are like, oh, he should end up with her. Like, we're matchmakers. We're zombie apocalypse matchmakers. Like, ooh, Daryl would be good with so-and-so. Some people wanted Daryl to be with Beth. A ton of people want Daryl to be with Carol. A ton of people hated the fact that Daryl didn't end up with Connie. And then the whole thing with Leah, people got mad about it. It's like, who cares? Like, it's a fictional thing. Like, Daryl Dixon is not real. Norman Reedus is engaged. He has kids. He's got whatever. He's got a life. He's got millions of dollars. You know, like, it's hilarious how people get, oh, they should be together. But that just shows people care, right? Like, it shows that people buy into this universe and this world and everything is so meaningful to everything. And I used to be that way about the show too. Like, I cared about this and that and every little thing and blah, blah, blah. And so I don't even care like one, I don't know, a certain percentage of what it was before, but I still care greatly about the universe, and the Daryl show is a great step in that. Dead City was a good step. Then they're knocking out the park with the Daryl show, which I'm glad, because the Daryl stuff is really helping the universe because, you know, it's on life support. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? So the end game ended. End game, right? It's there too. So then they want to continue the story. But in a way with shows where a lot of them are not good. Movies, a lot of them are not really good since Endgame. And so, but they want to continue on because they got comics and shows and streaming stuff and movies to promote and make money off of, right? So it's like, I get it. Like, so my book series is Fight For Us, and the last book is going to be titled The End. But that doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of the story, that every character dies, and the end of this, it's going to be the end of that. Like, I always think of it as like it's the end of certain jobs or relationships or just connections, but life goes on. Like, I like to think about it as, you know, it's loosely based on me and my friends and my family and my wife and all that stuff too. And again, it's a zombie apocalypse book series. It's fictional. It's not real. But I like to think of it as like when I was in, because if you think about your life, like I went to middle school, I went to elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and then undergrad. So I went to 5 different schools. So I went to elementary school, separate school. That ended. Went to middle school, 3 years. That ended. High school, 4 years. Ended. College, 4 years. Ended. Came back home to New Jersey for a year. Went back to, you know, school in Florida. 3 years. Ended. On with your life. And if you think about it, that's 5. You know, that's 5 years. That's 3 years. That's 4 years. That's 4 years. That's 3 years. That's a lot of years and a lot of things and a lot of connections and a lot of people that you meet and leave and meet and they leave and you go and there. Things end and come and go all the time. And, you know, the one door opens, another door closes, one door closes, another door opens. And just, that's life. You know, swinging doors, going away, forks in the road, just takes you down a path that we might not expect. And that's life. Things end, things begin. One end, something really can't start if something doesn't end, and vice versa. So it's like kind of thing with life, but I understand what they're doing here. And luckily, like I said, the Daryl show is exciting. So myself, I'm back working full time as a physical therapist, 40 hours a week. So you guys already know I won't be able to post videos every day, which I'm okay with, but I'm not I'm not okay, but I'm okay. Like it's fine. Like it is what it is. Like it's my new normal, right? So it is what it is. And luckily the Daryl show is interesting and I love talking about it. And so I wish there was more time to talk about it. So I made a video yesterday about the Fear the Walking Dead teaser trailer for the final 6 episodes. And it looks pretty good, but Fear the Walking Dead usually looks pretty good in trailers. And then it's not good. You know, like the Fear the Walking Dead universe is connecting with the Walking Dead universe more and more and more and more and more and more, except for the first 3 seasons where they were like, nah, we're going to do our own thing. And they're like, wow, that was stupid. We just wasted 3 seasons. Let's bring Morgan in. Now I'd be like, no, I like the way it was. I don't want this. Let's kill off this character. Let's kill off that character. Oh, we don't know what we're doing. No. Next thing you know, it's season 8 and Madison's back. You got Strand and Daniel are working together. Don't know how that would work. Troy's back. We see Alicia's bone arm prosthetic thing. Is she dead? Is she alive? We see a coffee tin with, we think, has remains in it. Someone's cremated. Is it Nick? Is it Alicia? Is it somebody else? I don't know. But Madison's the focal point again, which I get why they're doing it. But you killed the character off in season 4, so what are you doing? Yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? Where are the kids? Where's Sarah? Where's Wendell? Where's Alicia? Where's Althea? Where's anybody else? The people that matter. Troy's back to be the final villain. We're going to see Padre still because they have to do that. The coolest thing, I think, just like the first 6 episodes of it, Skidmark can hopefully show up, right? So hopefully when we saw King County, that was filmed, you know, it's supposed to take place in Georgia and it's filmed in Georgia, but it was filmed in Savannah and not, you know, outside of Atlanta like the other homes were. It's not the same house, not the same location, but they made it look pretty similar enough to that fooled a lot of people. Same thing with the Sherry and Dwight house. That's supposed to be Virginia, but it's filmed in Georgia, and it's supposed to be the same location, even though it's different. That the roof is different, the things are different. It's just not the same. They filmed at a different location and a different spot, but I'm sure they built it to make it look as closely as possible. You know, budget, time, money, all that stuff. It's just what it is. But I like that they're doing things with Sherry Dwight connecting with The Walking Dead, like Morgan, King County, and all that good stuff too. So I'm more excited about that. I don't know what's going to happen there because if they go back to the sanctuary, what's the end game for Dwight and Sherry? They broke up. They didn't want to get together, but then they're together in multiple scenes in the trailer, so they're still hanging around each other. They're still doing what they do. They went to the sanctuary. So do they just leave Madison's group? Like, are they not connected? And also, June is with Dwight and Sherry. So how do things fit with that? How is that going to be? I really don't know if it's going to make sense or not. I personally don't think it's going to be the best ending. I don't think it's going to do anything that great. Like, the Walking Dead ending was okay. It wasn't great. It was like, wow, that was good. It was okay. We lost Rosita at the end of The Walking Dead. Who are we going to lose in the final 6 episodes of Fear the Walking Dead? Do we have to lose anybody? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I think so, but I don't think so. Because, like, people thought we were going to lose a bunch of characters. Characters were going to die at the end of The Walking Dead. Like, I thought we were going to lose, like, Aaron or Father Gabriel. They're both alive. There's been a lot of talk recently about the Aaron possible show happening. I like that, if it works. But what's Aaron going to do? Come across another community? Are we going to have CRM connections ever? So we had CRM pop up on the show so Rick could leave. Then you had another show, World Beyond, for 2 seasons, which didn't really connect a lot of things very well. It was little teases and this and that, and it was 20 episodes when that should have been 6 episodes. That should have been 12 episodes, not 20. But it is what it is, and that's how it is. And, you know, Dead City could have been a little bit more. Probably should have been like 8 episodes, but instead it was 6. The Daryl Show, I'm loving every episode so far. How about you? Are you guys enjoying it? For sure. Let me see. We'll talk about Daryl's tape and whatever, but it just connects that Codrone found Daryl's location and met Daryl. There wasn't another American, so it confirms that he can work with Madame Jeanette or Gannett, or however you say her name. But they're going after Daryl, and that's kind of what it was there too. So, Phantom Deluxe. James, you asked a question about The Nun. I have not seen any of the Nun movies. And he says, can't wait for the new Joker movie. I'm excited for that too. I like the first movie. And I know Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn, so I like Lady Gaga. So we'll have to see how that goes down there. Haven't really watched any movies. I'll have to check what's leaving HBO Max to see what's there. Because I always like to watch that stuff when it says like Last Chance. And so I watch, a movie that's there because it's going away probably to another streaming service or another whatever. But I like to see it and you never check out something there as well. All right, guys. So let's talk about the Daryl Dixon series, season 1, episodes 1, 2, and 3. So James says, "Who do you think is going to die in the last episode?" I don't know. I really have no idea what Fear the Walking Dead is going to do, and I'm definitely not trying to figure it out. Like, because Madison came back, so they're not going to kill her off. Strand should have died multiple seasons ago. He'll probably live. Daniel should have died multiple seasons ago. He'll probably live. Are we going to lose June? Are we going to lose Dwight or Shea? I really have no idea what their point are, too. So, yeah, Wilson, the Creator movie is on this week. It comes out Friday. I'm excited for that. I'll probably wait on it to see what people are saying because I always like to hear. So, Wilson, if you check it out, let me know if it's good or not. Excuse me. But I like James David Washington. That's Denzel Washington's son. Yeah, I like him. And I like it's like an AI futuristic kind of world. If you know my book series, I like that kind of thing. So that's definitely a thing where I'm like, cool. So all right, guys, let's talk about the Daryl Dixon series, the first 3 episodes. So overall, I've enjoyed every episode. The third, I just watched it this morning. I only watched it once, but it's a good episode. It feels like stuff happens, but it doesn't. Stuff doesn't happen, but it does. They answer some questions. They set some things up, and it's the halfway point of the season because, again, it's 6 episodes, and this is the 3rd episode. So we know that Daryl got to France. He was on a boat with, I guess, these science projects, these Walker projects. And we get to see more of that in this episode. So we get to see the burners again, which to me don't really make sense. So in part of the episode... So, yeah, Quinn. So we found out that Quinn. So Quinn is the guy that saved Isabelle. He calls her Izzy. And when he came in with the car and takes out the walker, boom, and says, get in, goes to their apartment. They get the sister. She's pregnant. They grab some stuff and whatever. They actually go back to the same apartment in this episode. So it's cool. It's a nice connecting point with it, which I like when they do that in shows and movies and everything like that. So... we find out about Quinn, which we kind of thought something was up with him. And at the beginning, so the little trick is at the beginning of the episode when it says previously on The Walking Dead and whatever, you'll see what they're going to highlight. And they highlight Quinn here. So Quinn comes back around in the episode. He doesn't die. He's actually running like an underground club and it's something in Paris. So the big thing about it is we meet Falou, which is a guy that's running things there. He's in the graveyard cemetery thing, but he has people there, and I think they just had their 64th person because someone had a baby. And so Falou's cool. Seems like a character that we can like. I like him already. I think he's cool. So every character that they've brought, I've liked so far, right? Or have you not? Do you agree? So I like Isabelle, which I've already said before, that I think she's great. Sylvie's okay. She's doing more. Laurent is okay, too. Like, he's not that annoying kid. And he's supposed to be, like, this savior, this person that's going to revive humanity, be the new Messiah, be whatever. And Daryl even says in it, like I've said, too, that's a lot to ask for a 12-year-old kid or 13 years old. At the max, he's probably 13. But, yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's a big ask for the guy, too. Phantom says, a little recommendation, you should check out One Punch Man, although it's an anime, you should give it a try. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not really into the anime stuff. That's just not for me, for sure. Max says, Falou is like French King Ezekiel. Yeah, no, I felt the same way. Like, if he was King Falou, we'd be like, yep, that's just another guy like that, too. Like, he has a community, a group. He's charismatic. He talks. He's strong. He needs a Jerry. He needs a, what if he had like a different animal, right? It wasn't a tiger. Like it would be cool. I saw the similarities for sure. So, but the cool thing before that, let's talk about the spot that Daryl and Isabelle go into while Sylvie and Laurent are in the little buggy thing. So they make it to, outside of Paris, and they come to this spot where they think the guy might have a radio. So they go into this theater, and they meet this guy, and this guy is weird from the beginning, and he's definitely lost his mind. So Daryl's like, hey, can I use this radio? Does this radio work? He's like, it doesn't work. The wires are cut or something, and it doesn't work. And then he starts playing the music, like really loud through the speakers or whatever. And he's like, come on, we'll play music. Come on. And then they follow him into the theater, and the orchestra are all walkers that are tied up. They're restrained. There's like bodies that there's like these horns coming out of them, and there's this one like it's got things on its hands. It's playing the drums, and it's got like the gongs, or it's just ridiculous. It's like they have all these things, and he's the conductor. The guy's like, and he's like, yeah, good. No, he's like, so he's terrible. And then Daryl's like looking on, and you're like, what am I doing here? So as they're there, they're making all this music and all this noise and all this stuff. So they leave. And then the walkers come out. Daryl, Sylvie has the rifle, and she's like ready to fire it, but she's kind of like nervous and scared to fire it. But she was a badass with the knives to fight the person. Why is it a walker that's scared? Is it a religious thing? Does it make sense? Is it a mishap? Is it whatever? I don't know. But either way, Daryl comes over, says, boom, takes the rifle and shoots the walker. But I would think that the rifle sound would scare the horse. But the horse is fine, and they roll out, and Daryl's like, we tried it your way, let's try it my way. So they go to find this graveyard area, which they go past James Morrison's grave, which was the lead singer of The Doors, who died in Paris, evidently, which was pretty cool. So if you ever know that, I guess is that a true fact, a fun fact? I would assume it's realistic, right? So, but they come across these three bodies that are kind of wrapped up and prepared for burial or burning or whatever they're going to do with the bodies. And then Falou comes out of nowhere, and then Isabelle talks to Falou, and that the Father Jean says that they sent them there, and they're there, and whatever. And Laurent is this Messiah big thing, so Falou knows, is he the... And Isabelle's like, yeah. So that's the guy who's supposed to help rebuild the world, help to do all that stuff too. So it's interesting because... Tim says true fact. So yeah, the Jim Morrison thing. I'm guessing it would be. I don't think so. This felt like Norman Reedus influenced the show like big time with it, and it was really cool. Like I think I said, Daryl is Norman. Norman is Daryl to some degree, fictional of course. But I think they really fit the mold because he's just being himself. You know how it is, and I think he's putting little things in the show because he has the freedom to do it here, and it's just working all around too. Dragon Q&A, Laurent is a year or so older than Judith. I wonder if they would be meant to be a future couple. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're around the same age. I'm guessing Laurent is, 13 and Judith is 11. But yeah, they're close enough in age. But this isn't the medieval days where people get married when they're 15 years old. Let them survive. Like if they were building the future of it, I could see that. I could see Laurent and Judith being the future of the Walking Dead universe. But Laurent isn't like some badass kid. He's just smart. He's like, I guess he's supposed to be like Jesus, comforting people and having people come to him, because that's what they were treating him like when they went to Falou's place. And he kind of comforted this woman who just lost her husband. And they were saying that she didn't have any hope with other people. And we get to see that she opens up to Laurent. And Laurent doesn't understand why she did. But, we get to see that people look to him. So even if he's not immune and he has no abilities, people are looking to him because there's a lot of buildup. People do that anyway. Word of mouth and this and that. So it's Wilson says Laurent is like Neo in the Matrix. Yeah, he's the one, right? So it just seems good. But remember all the times when they're like, yeah, and on Fear the Walking Dead, a couple times, the person was bit on the shoulder. The guy was bit in the Mexican favela or whatever it was. And he was bit on the shoulder and he was like, I got bit right here and I survived. But it wasn't from a walker bite. So that was a lie. And then they were like, the cure. Did Alicia survive? Did she cure herself? We don't know. Did, Dwight and Sherry's son was supposed to be cured. And then that fell through. So, again, I don't really think they're going the immune cure angle in the Walking Dead universe. But we're kind of in uncharted territories because Daryl Dixon is an outlier. He's not in the comic. He was supposed to be killed. He wasn't even supposed to be on the show. It was supposed to be Merle Dixon. And then they made the Dixon brothers because they liked Norman Reedus so much. Norman was supposed to die in the first season of The Walking Dead. He survived every episode into his own spinoff. So it's like uncharted territory. So I don't know. But then we get to see Cadron go to meet Madame, I want to say like Jean or whatever her name is. But like it's like Jeanette or whatever. But either way. So he goes there and gets a job to talk to her about things. And they're all in black. Like, to me, look so much like the CRM. But we don't see the three rings. We don't see any connections. There's no signs. There's no connecting points. But the way they're dressed and the way they are, it just makes sense that they are. But we're just waiting for those connections. So Cadron gets, the go-ahead to go after Daryl. They have their fight sequence and this and that. And then, Daryl is choking out Cadron. Cadron is kind of a wuss. Like, Cadron gets beat up by Daryl. And Daryl's a badass and whatever. And we love Daryl and it's Daryl's show. But Cadron is getting... Every time they fought, he puts up somewhat of a fight. But Daryl wins, for sure. And all I have to say is Cadron is running around and jumping off buildings and stuff. He was shot in the leg, limping around, shot in the back. He was wounded. And, like, how much time has gone by? A couple of days? But he's doing pretty good for what that is. So Falou says, come on to Daryl. They don't have a radio at their place. So this dude has pigeons. And he's like, yes, the pigeon is good. You put a note here and it goes and it flies and they are good. And it's homecoming and it comes home and it's this and it's that. And Daryl's like, that ain't going to work. This is France. I can't send a pigeon to go to the United States. I can't fly to the Commonwealth. But they write a note or something, or they put a note in the pigeon's little thing on its foot or leg or whatever it is, and it flies away. So what was there? What's on the note? Where's it going? Like, what's happening with that? Is that going to come back around to help them? The carrier pigeon? I'm guessing, right? So Falou doesn't have a radio that Daryl needs a radio to contact back home. And so they go to this underground thing. And before that, we see Isabelle and Daryl go back to Isabelle's house or apartment place. And there was people living there and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And she pushes up the thing underneath the fireplace, and her drugs and her stash and her container stuff is still there. And no one checked that. Like, how much time has passed? 12, 13 years, but then there's like graffiti all over the place. So people were in there. But either way, they take it and they go to the underground place. And there's like people singing and that. And there's like a drag queen and stuff, which I thought was fine. I didn't think it was like, wow, that's terrible. That's crazy. That makes no sense. But I thought it was fine. I thought it worked. And so they go into this underground place and there's alcohol and stuff. And then you have to make a deal and you have to trade with them. And Daryl says, I'm trying to get back home to America. So they go there, and there's a guy there that says, look, you pay us, and we'll see what we can do. And Daryl's no dummy. He's like, nah, It ain't going to work. Let's get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. So the guy has a knife. He takes it out, points it at Daryl. Daryl's like, just punches him out. Like, it's kind of hilarious. The guy isn't supposed to have any weapons in there. So this guy comes out of nowhere, and it's Quinn, the guy that was with Isabelle at the beginning, the first episode, and did all that stuff, and taking him around, or not, yeah, well, at the start of it, not the first episode, but the start of it, the second episode, we find out the backstory of Isabelle. And so he was taking care of Isabelle and blah, 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 blah. So they talk, and it's like the homecoming thing that they want to talk about things. Find out later that Quinn is the father of Laurent, because he was with, I think Lily is the mom. Lily died, and they find out about this, and then Quinn's like, you should have told me I had a son, right? So did you see that coming? Did you see one of those things happening there with it? Was it like too soap opera-ish that on there? Or, did it shock you? Because it's kind of makes sense, and we kind of thought something was up with that too. So we thought that Isabelle was the aunt of Laurent, and it is, and she is. And then we thought Quinn could be the dad, and he is. So kind of answered those questions. So we see the fact that things are happening with Daryl and Isabelle, but I don't think there's like a romantic thing. I think they just work with each other and they get stuff done. The way they kind of look at each other, I don't know. But either way, then we also see the Walker kid that's was the girl on the scooter, which we knew she was going to be a walker because she was out in a zombie apocalypse by herself on a scooter without any help or protection. And we also saw the walker in the trailer, and we put two and two together based on the hair and the clothes and everything like that too. So she was a walker. Daryl was going to put her down, and then Isabelle said no. And I thought that was really poor because you don't want to leave your loved one or a person you care about as a walker, right? Like this, again, is it a religious thing that you think they're going to be able to come back as the people they were? So, I don't know. Yeah, Wilson Q&A says, it's interesting, Brad, that Quinn is the one who wanted to leave Lily behind at the garage. Yeah, at the gas station, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, he was, I don't know. We're guessing there's more to Quinn and Isabelle and Quinn and Lily besides maybe there's a one-night stand kind of thing that happened, and she ended up getting pregnant, and that is so. There's more to that. I mean, it does feel a little soap opera-ish, but it's all good. That's kind of the Walking Dead universe too in a nutshell. I ain't mad at it. So Daryl was going to put down the little girl that's a walker. She's stuck in like the weeds or whatever in there too. And Isabelle says, no, don't do it. So then the potted plants fall over, which attracts all these walkers flying out of the windows. Some of the CGI looks bad, but it's all right. And it comes in, and they're splattering and this and that too. So then this one walker comes out and just lands on its face and gets up. And it's like, and it's a burner. You can tell because it's burning the pavement. Instantly, I thought, how does this burner have clothes? Because the clothes wouldn't be staying on the body if it's flammable, and the burner, acid, whatever, would eat through the clothing. But I guess it's on AMC and not HBO, so we're not going to have naked walkers. Also, Daryl drops an F-bomb, so it's not a big deal, but they got an F-bomb there. So Daryl, being the smart person that he is, uses the walker and stabs it in the gut and then uses it over to burn away the overstuff things and whatever, and burns away the overgrown foliage and branches and vines and everything else that's there, and then does it and pushes open the door and then stabs the walker, or the burner, I should say. We also see another walker that's kind of doing scientific experiments with Cadron and Madame Jeanette and whoever. And the scientist guy that's in there, it's like a walker that's tied up with chains, and they're doing an experiment, and he times it, and before the walker ends up killing itself by running into the glass, and then the brain explodes, it's 18 seconds. So are they trying serum or a formula or some sort of things that they're putting into walkers to either make them weaponized, to make them, variants, to I don't know. We just don't know. But they show that a little bit more here too. So it's a little more into that world. Again, we got 3 more episodes to dive into it, and I think they will. So we find out a little about that, a little about this. We see the burner. We see this in there too. So we see that the singer lady gives her Eiffel Tower necklace thing to Laurent. Laurent gets the picture of Lily, his mother, from the apartment that was Lily's and Isabelle's. And so it was nice. Laurent gets to see his mom. So then they're going around, and then Cadron goes to the underground thing, and Quinn says, you know, Madame Jean, we have an understanding, we have an agreement that you don't touch this place. And he's like, we won't be long, we'll leave, blah, blah. So then they end up going to Falou's place. Daryl's going to leave. Laurent is, sleeping. And Daryl keeps preaching the whole thing where you can't lie to him. You can't lie to him. You got to tell him the truth. You got to tell him what happened. You got to tell him whose dad is. You got to tell him all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so Isabelle's like, whatever. What am I supposed to do? I'm protecting him. He doesn't need to know, da-da-da. So then Laurent wakes up and he says, you lied to me. You did this. You did blah, blah, blah. And then he's like there standing. At the same time, Cadron and his people come in and they kill some of Falou's people. And then all hell breaks loose, and Laurent climbs away and escapes, and he actually leaves. We'll see next episode that he goes to the Eiffel Tower, and there's like sandbags all around there, and there's walkers all around there, so that's where he goes underneath the Eiffel Tower. And also, we see the Eiffel Tower in the distance, and they talk about the 150,000 rivets or something it took to do it, and blah, 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 the little fun facts that I'm sure people know about it. But Daryl says, yeah, the tip there broke off a little bit. It's hanging down there. And Falou says that a helicopter was flying and hit it. The winds changed or whatever, and a helicopter ran into the actual Eiffel Tower. So is that a connection with the CRM? Was it a National Guard thing helicopter? Was it a military helicopter? Was it a CRM helicopter? Was it something else? Or is it just by chance to say that a helicopter hit the thing and that's it? We don't know. So Daryl ends up fighting with Cadron on the roof, and they're doing this and doing that. He's choking him out. He's doing a rear naked choke. Chokehold's illegal. And then they're firing at Daryl, so Daryl runs away. And you can tell when it's not Daryl with the stunt doubles because of the hair of the stunt double. And also Daryl has like a bum knee. I can tell when he's running, his knee kind of bothers him. And then Daryl ends up standing on part of a roof, and it starts to break and crumble, and he's like, and falls down. And that's how the episode ends. And it's like, what? It's a shorter episode. It's only 48 minutes. The other episodes were an hour. So it's on the 48-minute shorter side, but it's all good, and it's a nice step in the right direction. And again, you see next week's episode, you see Falou talking to his people, and he's like, we go as one, and we come back as one. We do this, we do that, and we see the walkers around the Eiffel Tower, and Laurent, and Daryl, and stuff. So it's pretty cool overall. I think I hit all the good stuff. Did I miss anything that... There, I mean, we know that Daryl's going to end up getting captured and having to fight a variant walker at some point. And I'm guessing, I wonder what's going to happen with that carrier pigeon. What's going to happen with Daryl actually finding the radio. Who's going to survive? Is Laurent going to survive? Is Isabelle going to survive? So I hope so, right? So we know that Daryl is going to be in the second season, but also Carol. So how does Daryl, Carol, and Isabelle fit for the second season? So ultimately, it was supposed to be the Daryl and Carol show, right? Then Carol dropped out, so then it was the Daryl show. Were they always supposed to film in France? Were they supposed to film in here and then go to France? Was it just changed because Daryl could be there? Did Daryl say, let's come to France? Did Daryl do this? Was it the story? Was it the World Beyond connections? Was it this? Was it that? I don't know overall, but how does Carol end up getting there, too? I was joking with my wife because I was like, Carol's going to show up in the second season or maybe the end of the first. We'll have to see how they kind of do that. But... how does Carol get to France? And I was like, she's going to hear the radio message, and she's like, let's roll out, get the boats. She takes a convoy over there to save Pookie. So we'll have to see how it breaks down for it, but I'm okay with it not making the most sense because Carol and Daryl are awesome. Carol and Daryl are great for the Walking Dead universe. So we'll have to see how it goes down, what's up with the experiments, possible CRM connections. Did they get to the French CDC? We'll see how it gets down. Let me see. So Dragon says, Laurent getting the picture is like Carl getting the picture, the pic from the bar. Yeah, exactly. So it feels like that too, Dragon. Like there's a lot of connections from the Walking Dead show on here. It's the same, but it's slightly different. It's different, but basically the same. And I like that. It's familiar to us. It's just good. It's good connections, callbacks, continuity. It doesn't have to be the exact same, and it's not. So let me see anything in the questions that I kind of missed here from you guys. No, sounds like I'm pretty caught up. Tim asks, the experiment with the chained walker, what's the point of that? Exactly, Tim. So I don't know. So when we see the walker, it's in this lab with the glass, and we see the walker's got chained. It's like he's like breakdancing a little bit too. He's like, Like if you like cut that out and change the music, he's like, He's like popping and locking in there too. It's kind of funny, but. So he's getting there too, and then they go in there and they close it. And when Cadron and Jeanette go in there, he's like got the stopwatch, and Jeanette says something to the scientist, doctor guy, and he doesn't even acknowledge her. He's like looking at his stopwatch, and then the chains get ripped out, boom, boom, which would be ridiculously hard to do from anybody, let alone a walker. You're right. I mean, the walker's not going to have like, it's not Bane or something crazy like these. It's just no, whatever. But so. I would assume they had to give the walker something to do that. So we're guessing that the scientist guy and blah, 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 whoever made the burners is what I'm guessing, right? Like, what would be the adaptation of the variant? Like, why would walkers adapt in only 10 years, by the way, which is ridiculously fast for walkers to be variants? Like viruses adapt and change, but viruses adapt and change, not people. It's not like we developed, a third finger or a second thumb or like another hand in so many years of existence being a human being. Like, how do walkers be so crazy in that too? So I'm guessing they're working on some sort of serum to do that, but the serum or something that they're doing is not killing them. It's making them more aggressive, stronger, faster. But because the walker runs and it just runs right into the wall and boom, and then it goes down a little bit and the head explodes. So why would the head explode, right? So I don't know. So again, it's just a thing where we just too much to not know at this point. We just don't know yet. Wilson says, I just hope Carol turning up doesn't ruin the feel of the show. I agree, but I don't think so. Like, here's a question for you guys. Has Carol and Daryl ever hurt the show? Has Carol and Daryl ever being together in the Walking Dead universe ever hurt the show? Because I think no way. It's only helped it. Like, going back to the early days of The Walking Dead. Like, I loved it because, like, Carol and Daryl didn't have this instant bond. It was when they lost Sophia and Daryl was going to look out there and he found the Cherokee Rose and he was doing this and blah, blah, blah. At the end of season 2, Daryl has his motorcycle and Carol's like, he's like, get on, we ain't got all day. And it's like hilarious. And they get on the motorcycle and they ride out. And then Carol gets kind of lost in the prison and Daryl finds her and saves her. And they were building it up. But even since then, like, it never hurt ever. It never hurt the show ever. And then, like, Carol saves him at Terminus. First person to see her, Daryl hugs her. Like, huge moment. Here, probably going to have a similar moment, too. Carol will probably save Daryl whenever they find each other. Going to have a Terminus-type moment, I'm guessing. I'm hypothesizing. I'm thinking. Because, again, similar what we expect from the Walking Dead universe. Kind of there happens again. Rinse and repeat, right? Right. Brick says their chemistry has always stood out since season 2. Exactly. And I just think they're great people for each other. They work together. Norman's pretty easygoing. Carol, Melissa McBride is, it just works. And if you ever want to see a good ride episode with Norman Reedus, that show Ride with Norman Reedus, definitely, if you have not seen it, watch the episode with Norman and Melissa when they go to Scotland to find out more about Melissa's heritage. It's cool. It's definitely worth watching too. So Yeah, Carol and Daryl are bestie goals. Yeah, and I don't need it to be complicated with a romantic thing and they get together and blah blah blah. And I don't care about any of that. I don't need the romance novel stuff. I don't. That's just not for me too. So, Dragon says in real life the Eiffel Tower has radio station near the top. So yeah, maybe that is exactly how Daryl makes the call out, where he has that. So that's good. That's a good point. That could be that's a good possible foreshadowing there too. Could happen there. Yeah, I don't know, Max. He says, I can't wait to see why Daryl goes to the beautiful Mont Saint-Michel, I guess. Is that how you say it? Mont Saint-Michel? I probably said that terrible wrong, but it's all right. But overall, I'm enjoying it. It's a good series. It's a good stuff. How about you guys? What are you liking about it? What aren't you liking about it? And so if they put this amount of effort and all this good stuff with Daryl in France doing his own thing and we're loving it, thank you, Max, then I'm hoping the Rick and Michonne show, The Ones Who Live, is even better. Not even. It doesn't have to be better. It doesn't have to top it. Not every show has to top the show and top this and that show. I just hope it's as good, maybe in a different way, but it's good. So you got Michonne and Rick, which I love those two characters. I mean, they're two of my favorite characters, and Michonne's my favorite character, so it's going to be good to see her. And, of course, Rick being Rick. The Walking Dead universe feels incomplete without Rick. It still works with Daryl and stuff like that, too, and it still has its good moments, but I think without Rick, it just feels off, Do you agree? No? Yes? Maybe? Max asks, do you think we'll get a teaser for The Ones Who Live soon? I hope so, Max. I hope so. So, you could just have a minute teaser. Like the first one they showed was very minimal clips. I mean, you saw Rick chopping something there. He's attacking something with one of those pole things. We saw Michonne walking a little bit, and that's really kind of it. It was like The Ones Who Live and blah, 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 blah. And so we don't get to see much. Just show us a little bit of it. We get to see Rick and Michonne and this and that and Jadis and, whatever. So show us some clips, man. I'm excited for that trailer, too. So I don't know what their plan is. I don't think the Daryl show, I was reading some of the people were posting how many viewers it had. It only had like 500 and some thousand viewers. But I don't know I don't know where those numbers come from. And everybody I know loves the show. Like, are people not watching it? Like, I'm sure everybody in here is watching it. I'm sure everybody that watches my videos is watching it. But it's not as many people watching those videos by far. Like it's a major drop-off. And I'm guessing other channels and other stuff too. Or maybe it's just my channel. I don't know. But ultimately, at the end of the day, not nearly as many people are watching it. I can't even get 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 views of videos. So it just goes to show you that people just aren't watching the Walking Dead stuff as much. At least my stuff. So ultimately, the Walking Dead universe, I think this show is really good. And I don't really care if people like it or not. But I think it has that Walking Dead feel. And, people like shows for different reasons. And people get on some trendy stuff. I mean, what are the trendy stuff that people are watching now? Like, what's the big thing that's out that people are really getting into? Yeah, Diana, that's all I know right now is that the every show that's come out, Dead City, Daryl Dixon, and The Ones Who Live, is 6 episodes. But Dead City is going to be a second season, which I don't know when they're going to film. The recent news I saw earlier this morning is that the Hollywood studios have sent a best and final offer to, I don't know if it was the Writers Guild or the Actors Guild or both. I don't know who got the actual best and final offer. But you know that, if you don't know, that the Daryl show for season 2 had an exemption from AMC that they're allowed to work on the second season. So, and then they're also allowed to finish the second, or the post-production of The Ones Who Live. So the post-production of that is underway. So that may be hindering the trailer too. So, but why can't other shows or other networks work on something too? Like, why can't the Fox shows have a thing with Fox? Why can't the ABC, NBC, Netflix, Amazon, blah, 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 whoever get their agreements done? Does it have to be all the networks and all the stuff that come with the network that too? Or can they have their own stuff that's going to say, we're going to do this? Or is it Netflix that's holding problems up? Or is it this streaming service that's holding things up? Or is it this studio? Or I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just asking. Does anybody know that? Or is there too? Because I would assume like this studio can work on stuff. Like, look, this is in our stuff. We can do this. We can do that. Just get it done. Just get it done. You know, like I feel like these strikes have been going on for a long time. And it's probably getting to the point now where it's really going to affect shows for later this year and into next year. But if it's a best and final, what if the guilds don't take it? What if the actors and the writers don't take it? Then what? Are they going to call their bluff? Are they going to do this? Is it enough to hold people over before they do another strike? Because if you strike and you're not getting any residuals or any other money or doing anything like that, which probably the bigger percentage of actors aren't getting, they're not getting paid. Like, all I know is if I don't work, I don't get paid. If I don't do this stuff, I don't get paid. And I can't do that. I don't know anybody, unless you're a multi-millionaire, billionaire dude, you got to have a paycheck. At least something coming in. Twice a month, once a month, something. Social Security. You got to do some sort of income coming in. I mean, I wish I didn't. I wish I was so well off that I could do whatever I want, not to worry about it. But you know, that ain't how it is. So, Jeannie says, I'm watching Modern Family. Finally got the DVDs from my library. Good. Yeah, Modern Family is a great show. I love Modern Family. It works from the first season to the last season. The show is a little better in the earlier seasons, I must say, but it's still funny. You know, and certain characters, like I loved Cam, and I thought, you know, Luke was funny and Phil was funny and blah, 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 and what's his name? Manny was funny. But they have so many other, you know, characters. Gloria's hilarious. Jay is hilarious. You know, Haley and Alex, they have their moments too. Like every character, and Mitchell is way funnier than I remember him being in, but he's hilarious too. Max, I have not finished Ozark. We are on season 4, episode, I want to say 7 or 8. So we're getting there. We're very close to how it ends. I know it's like a little extended. Is it like 13 episodes or something in the final season? But some pretty big stuff happened. I don't want to give away if anyone hasn't seen Ozark, but there's been some big stuff going down. And it kind of feels a little rushed, but it is what it is. You know, it's really tough to have. You can't draw it out and you can't rush it, but overall it's still getting there too. So, yeah, that's right. You got to have your taxes taken out of your paycheck so you can get a tax return or cut that down too. So that's good. I mean, you got to do what you got to do and hopefully not get killed on taxes. That's just. I know I'm glad I'm working 40 hours a week and I'm going to get steady taxes out of my checks because. You know, when I was getting income from other ways and you don't pay taxes on it, you get hit pretty big in your income tax for your, you know, tax return because you have to pay your taxes there. They're going to get it one way or another, whether it's out of your paycheck or in your income tax thing. So if you have, if you take some money from like CDs or, you know, bonds or something like that too, you can get, you know, kind of taxed for it. But, you know, it is what it is. And you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, life, like death and taxes, that's the only absolutes in life is what they say too. So, but Ozark is good. You know, I like where it's going with it. We'll have to see. I know I haven't seen the ending, so I don't know. I'll definitely weigh in when we watch it. But I know some people were saying they didn't like it as well. So next Sunday, I won't be able to do a live stream because I have a course Saturday from 8 to 5 and Sunday 8 to 3 for my job that I have to take for balance stuff because the clinic I work at focuses on physical therapy and balance, and there's all these balance things they want us to go over with before we start taking more and more balance patients myself. And actually, my physical therapy assistant that I work with will be right there as well. So hopefully I'll be back the following week. So so next weekend, let me see. So that's the 30th, and then next Sunday is October 1st. So in a week, guys, we'll be out of September into October, and then I'll be back for the 8th and the 15th, and then I don't know about the 22nd because I have some stuff going on that weekend as well, but I'll be back for the 29th. So I'll be back definitely the following week, so the 8th and the 15th. And the 15th will be the finale of the Daryl Dixon show for season 1. The 22nd is the premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. So again, it looks like the shows for the Walking Dead universe are not going to premiere early on Thursdays. They're going to premiere early on Sunday mornings. So that Fear the Walking Dead episode should be up at 3 a.m. East Coast time or midnight West Coast time, just like the Daryl Dixon show on the 22nd of October. So thank you, Wilson. So, well, it's a course that, it's just balanced stuff. It should be fine. It's not like, maybe, I don't know, there might be an exam or something. But I already passed the first. So it's actually 2 courses. Like the first level 1 was the actual exam and stuff, and they had to take it, blah, 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 and I passed that. And then you go to level 2, which is like the practical stuff that you have to do in person and the techniques and the vestibular stuff, where if you ever had like dizziness, vertigo, any vestibular dysfunctions with the 3 tracks and the rocks and stones, whatever you call it, in your inner ear, your vestibular system, how it can be off. And I've seen people in the past for it, but they want me to take these courses just to be what the stuff they're teaching, which is always good. I always like education, but it's just a long weekend, So I got to work all week, 40 hours, see patients till, somewhat later on Friday, then have Saturday and Sunday. So I have 8 to 5. So I am like basically 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and then 8 to 5 on Saturday, and then 8 to 3 on Sunday, which is like, it's like you got to get up early to be in a course all weekend. The only thing that's good about it is that the course is pretty close to my house, so I don't have to drive very far. Some people have to drive, wherever they're from to take the course there. But luckily, I got lucky, and it's close to my house too, so. Skipler says, I just started from last night because I remember you said it was good. Got 2 episodes in, super good. Can't wait to see more. Yeah, Skipler, I like From. Season 1, Season 2 are good. We're probably going to be waiting a little while for Season 3, but From is I definitely recommend From. I recommend a lot of good shows that I talk about. I actually are watching I'm a soccer fan or football fan, however you want to say it. Not football Americano, not American football, but soccer, and the rest of the world is football. But there's a show called Welcome to Wrexham, and it's on Hulu, and it's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney own the Wrexham Football Club in Wales, and it's the 3rd oldest football club in the world, which is crazy. And I enjoy it because I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Rob McElhenney, he's a Philly guy. I'm from South Jersey, so it's basically right there. And it's really cool insight into what it takes to own a franchise. Like, I love Hard Knocks. I love all the shows that show you inside looks inside of a sports franchise. And it's interesting because Wrexham is, season 2, it's already out. It's already out, Max. So the first 2 episodes are out. Well, actually, 3 episodes are out because the first episode is like 48 minutes or so. The second one's like 20 minutes, and the third one is 20 minutes as well. And you get to meet more of the players and stuff. And it's cool. If you haven't seen it and you like it, definitely check it out. And if you have and you like it, second season is out already too. So that's it's only like 3 episodes. It just started, Max. You didn't really miss it. You're not that late, so you have time to watch it. And episodes come out every, Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know. I watch it later in the week, so I'm not sure when it actually comes out. But I think Ryan Reynolds is hilarious. I think Rob McElhenney's funny too, and you get to see the inner workings of a sports franchise. So it's cool. So other than that, that's what we're watching. How about you guys? What are you guys watching? It's there's still a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I saw Dark Winds. Someone said something about Dark Winds. Dark Winds. Yeah, it's third season. Yep. Yeah, I saw on Instagram, I think it was, or maybe even Facebook and Instagram, that AMC renewed Dark Winds for a third season. And I hope so. It's a good show. Oh, Ahsoka, too. Rob K., you're my Ahsoka guy. Ahsoka is a good... I have not seen Billions at all, Max. Is that over yet? Is that the final episode yet? Because I have to watch Succession and Billions. I heard those are good seasons or series as well. So that'll probably fill the void a little bit. Ahsoka is good. I don't know who these people are, though. Like, I know who Anakin is, and I know who Ahsoka is, and I know who Grogu is, but I don't know who, the former Jedi guy is, and I don't know who this witch lady is, and I don't know who, Ezra is, and I don't know who Thrawn is. I just don't know who these people are. I never saw the Clone Wars animated stuff on there as well. But it's still interesting. It's still good. And it's cool. Like, to me, I like The Mandalorian. And even then, there was kind of like Jedi type of feel with the dark saber and stuff. But to me, Jedis are a big part of the Star Wars lore. And that's kind of what this is and stuff like that, too. I mean, it works in The Mandalorian because Grogu is a Jedi. And you see Ahsoka. So you see little glimpses of stuff, even though you're following a Mandalorian. But it's just kind of cool to see a little bit more here. And I'm excited to see what happens where it is, and I do like the character. And I think Rosario Dawson is doing a great job as Ahsoka. Yeah, she's really good in everything I've seen her in. She definitely fits the character, and I like her as well. And Ahsoka definitely works. But again, I just don't know who these people are as much. I'm watching it, I'm like, who's this blue guy? Who's this guy? Who's this? Who's that? I mean, it works. It just would fit my... People probably love it, too, when it's live action stuff from the cartoon, but... I still enjoy it too. So, all right, guys, that is my hour. I appreciate you guys taking the time. Again, I apologize. I won't be here next Sunday because I will be in course. I'd rather be here than that course, and it goes past 1 o'clock. So I won't be able to be here next Sunday, but I'll be there in 2 weeks. But remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it no matter what it is. Keep working hard. Enjoy the episode tonight if you haven't seen it. And if you watch it on the replay, thank you guys either way. We truly appreciate the love and support. See you guys.